Do you ever feel like you're hiding your true self just so you can appear normal? That's masking. And for ADHDers, it can be an everyday occurrence. It's exhausting, but sometimes necessary. I want to talk about it. And if you stick around to the end, I've got some tips and tricks to help you manage this ADHD trait just a little bit better. So let's get started. Most people pretend to be different from their true selves some of the time. Customer service voices, donning a professional demeanor at work. These things are relatively harmless. So what's the difference between that and masking? I mean, isn't masking just pretending to be a different version of yourself? The answer is no. Masking isn't just a different version of yourself. It's taking on the characteristics of somebody entirely different than you. It can look like pretending to be more prepared than you actually are, or that you're listening to a conversation you've completely zoned out on, or adopting another person's behaviors completely. And this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many other ways that you might be masking. Even with the examples on this list, you may still be wondering, what's the big deal? Aren't these just ways to be more polite? The answer is, again, no. These are characteristics that make you seem more neurotypical. And that can be exhausting when it's going against your true nature. Think of it like an actual physical mask, the kind that you have to hold up to your face. It's not that big a deal at first, but if you hold it up every day, all day, your arm's going to get tired. And eventually, that fatigue is going to turn into pain. And even on your best days, you're limited to just one hand, so it makes carrying other responsibilities more difficult. At some point, your body is just going to give out and you won't be able to hold the mask up anymore. And long before that, it's going to start getting difficult for you to separate who you are underneath that mask. Masks deny our needs, our interests, and our desires. And of course, if your needs are masked, then you're not going to get the support that you need. It's important to understand that masking is not just surface level changes. It's changing who you are and how you see yourself in the world. And it's not something that we can switch on and off unless we practice how to do so. We get used to holding up the mask until our arms go numb. And then we have a hard time registering it as a conscious effort. It's hard to separate that from who we truly are without the mask. Regardless, though, of whether we're doing it on purpose or not, it's exhausting. And if we're not aware of the energy we're using by masking, then we're going to wonder why we're always exhausted. Of course, masking can keep us safe in a world that regularly tells us that we don't fit in. It's an involuntary defense mechanism that causes its own level of harm, which ironically gets hidden too, because when you're masking, you're more likely to get praise, acceptance, and connection. It helps you avoid conflict and rejection, and allows you to feel a small sense of control when the rest of the world feels like chaos. If it wasn't for the fact that it's so exhausting, it might work for us. But masking for long periods of time is only going to lead to burnout. Unmasking is not for the faint of heart, though. It can take time and patience to learn who you are without the mask. Sometimes it's not even a matter of remembering. It's a matter of rediscovering after a lifetime of self-abandonment. And it needs to be done while simultaneously dealing with the challenges that we masked to avoid in the first place. Masking, after all, it keeps your relationships with your family, friends, and partners from collapsing because society has also told them that the ways you behave when you're unmasked are unacceptable. It takes time to help them understand these behaviors as much as it takes time for you to understand them. And it's a constant balancing act between being true to yourself and there for others. Being entirely unmasked can be just as big an issue as being entirely masked. Either way, it does create extra work for yourself. But it's a hell of a lot easier to manage when you're being true to yourself and accommodating others than when you're accommodating everyone else and ignoring yourself. For instance, a lot of ADHDers over-prepare for punctuality. So they'll show up at an appointment an hour early, knowingly, so that they can sit outside and wait for their appointment to avoid being even just 5 minutes late, because they've been told that being late under any circumstances is unacceptable, and their natural inclination to not understand time gets them in trouble or has gotten them in trouble in the past. This makes it difficult for us because we say, oh, well, all ADHDers run late and I'm always on time, so I must not have ADHD, when in reality, the only reason you're on time is because you're taking all these extra steps to make sure that's true. And at the end of the day, running on time means running on time. And being an hour early for something is not actually being on time. It's better for you to be 5 minutes late than an hour early, in the same way that it's better to be 5 minutes early than it is to be an hour late. It causes the same amount of inconvenience whether you're an hour late or an hour early. It's just who it inconveniences that changes. If we think it's okay for us to waste an hour of our time, but it's not okay to waste an hour of someone else's time, that is self-abandonment. It's saying their time is valuable, but mine isn't. Let me know in the comments if you're the sort of person that's always late, or if you plan so far ahead that you're always early. I'd love to hear your stories. And now let's get into those tips and tricks. Tip number 1 is start small. Unmasking is a slow process with many layers. You don't need to unmask all at once, nor should you. Doing so too quickly can be very traumatic and cause you to double your mask just to regain a sense of safety that you feel like you've lost. Tip number 2 is to know your safe people. Think about your friends and family and which ones make you feel seen and understood. There is no need for you to unmask around people that are going to make you feel badly for who you are. So find the people that make you feel good and allow yourself to be a little bit more authentic around them. Over time, you'll realize that all you have left are safe people. Now, if the safe person is a partner, you still want to start small and just introducing small things that make you feel more like yourself around them. Again, you don't want to just unmask fully because you're going to end up feeling like you've overshared, and that can feel very vulnerable. If you don't feel like you have anybody for you to unmask in front of safely, I highly suggest that you take more time for yourself and spend more time alone so you can unmask for yourself. And that alone can make a big difference. Allow yourself to stim, to fidget, to otherwise do you whenever possible. Dance around in your underwear if it makes you feel good. Eat the contents of a sandwich without constructing the sandwich if it makes it easier. There are no rules that tell you who you are. You have to decide for yourself what works and what doesn't. And filling yourself up with guilt and shame isn't going to help you be anybody else. It's just going to make you more exhausted. You're not deeply flawed for having needs. You're just human like everybody else. Those needs just look a little different than other people's. Learning ways to embrace and accept yourself is key to unmasking your true self. So if you're really struggling with that, I really recommend that you find a therapist or an ADHD coach that can help you with that. Because having a sense of self is vital to becoming successful as an ADHDer. But if getting a therapist or a coach right now isn't possible, Mel Robbins, the author of the books The 5-Second Rule and The Let Them Theory, suggests that you give yourself a high five in the mirror every single day. And not just a quick one either. Look yourself in the eye. Tell yourself that you deserve a high five. Try to feel the same feeling you would if a friend were giving you a high five. Do it every day. I dare you. I double dog dare you. It can actually be quite unsettling to look yourself in the eye and tell yourself that you deserve happiness, that you deserve success. It can be deeply uncomfortable. And that's when you know that you need it the most. You deserve to be loved as you are without a mask. And it needs to start with you. Thanks for watching. I'm Kristen. This is Creatively Divergent. Hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will see you next week. Bye.